The brainwashing runs really deep because the industrial system needs us to be acquiring status-seeking cogs in their system because the factories are so efficient, they just keep making more stuff. The internet did some amazing things, and many of us who were there at the beginning forgot to focus on the things that weren't going to be so amazing. And one of the things it did was it gave everybody a microphone. And that's a good thing because voices previously unheard were not heard before, and now they are. It helped focus a long overdue lens on racial injustice, for example. But the other problem was that it created these chambers of noise where you got ahead and the media companies got ahead by dividing us, by creating breaking news that isn't breaking, that isn't news, by calling people friends who aren't friends and buttons likes that aren't likes. And so we can't discount how hard the media worked against all of our peace of mind and well-being for the last 15 or 20 years.
Enormous waves rolling across the Indian Ocean.
Now it's official, we are in a recession.
8.9 magnitude. It was the 5th largest earthquake in history.
The new coronavirus were first detected.
And it took a toll. And we're feeling that toll in politics, but we're also feeling that toll deep in our soul.
I cannot tell you how many stories people have in their heads that are deeply embedded, that they're not even aware the story is there. They're not aware that the script is playing every single day. And so they're living their lives in autopilot.
I think it's important for us to take a forensics approach to our own lives, to observe deeply to discover what we believe is true for ourselves. So far in my life, when I look back over every single experience that I thought was a tragic experience at the time, of course, because of cause and effect, it's been the same part of the journey of the things that I cherish most in my life. I read something recently, and the numbers always change, but they were talking about the part of the brain that pays attention, right? The reticular activating system. And something like 88% of what's going on in any given moment you're not paying attention to. Like, I'm not paying attention to your wrist right now. That which we tend to pay attention to is aligned with what we believe, and so that's all we get. So if you want, more happiness, if you want more wealth, if you want deeper relationships, if you want to have more joy, you want to have more fun, you want to achieve your full potential and really make an impact in the world, then what's really important is to get clear on what that could look like for you and to make sure that what you believe is congruent with that outcome. Because if what you believe is not congruent with that outcome, just neurophysiologically, you're working against yourself.
What we do is we see the world around us and then we make up a story about it, not the other way around. That Dan Dennett, the great philosophy professor at Tufts, has proven that dreams happen in the moment we wake up. That all night there's electrical activity in our brain, but it's not till we wake up that we try to make sense of it. It makes perfect sense to me because the storytelling part is our conscious brain. And if you are somebody who always goes out of their way to open doors for other people and help them, then you will start telling yourself a story that that's the kind of behavior you admire. Not the other way around. And so just choosing a behavior, if you want to be a writer, write. If you want to be a runner, run. That will change how you think of you and your work.
Your life doesn't end up in an accident. Your life is a series of actions that you initiate or don't initiate. And that your thoughts are going to control that roadmap. And so how are you using your mind today to either make yourself feel great or not? I posted on Instagram this morning. I said, listen, your destiny is ultimately controlled by a decision you already made this morning. Everyone watching this already made a decision this morning. This morning, they made it a life-changing, huge decision this morning. And that is either I'm going to get up, enter the world with no intention, go through the motions to hopefully get by or survive, or I am going to get clear in this morning about what I want, what I'm going after, who I'm going to be, how I'm going to serve, and whether or not I'm going to be excellent and extraordinary or not. And the problem is most people never make that conscious decision. So I was learning early on, make the conscious decision about who you want to be each day. Stay congruent with that.
Everything everyone knows, they learned. And I don't accept that I'm less intelligent than the next person, which means I can learn it too, right? The second is that every single excuse I have is valid, but that's still not going to give me the results that I want. And so we do live in this really PC culture today where people are looking for the excuse. And the truth is, the excuse is completely valid. Yes, you are a young black person growing up in democratic South Africa for the past 26 years, but for hundreds of years before that, it wasn't built for you to succeed, right? Yes, you're living in one of the most difficult credit capital markets in the world, so it's hard to get access to funding to start a business. Yeah, all of that stuff's true, but that's still not going to change your circumstance. So the test is not whether or not you know the reasons for not succeeding. The test is whether or not you're willing to do whatever it takes to get to that next level. And a big part of the whatever it takes actually is just remain teachable. Just be a student of the game, a student of life, a student of those who've achieved. And I've found that those two things have really stood me in good stead.